everyone, it's Helen and welcome to my TBR game for the month of August. This time it is Scrabble and Sister. My lovely sister Angela has agreed to pick 4 books for me. I did ask her if she wanted to be in the video with me on the camera, but she said she'd prefer not to, which is totally fine. I may put a picture up of her if she feels comfortable with that. But my sister isn't a massive reader. I remember when I got my first job buying each of the Harry Potter books one by one with some of my wages because I knew like she'd really loved them, and then I read them after her. So I remember that, and then so like she tends to go in series. So she did the Twilight series, which I only recently read. She did the Hunger Games series. So she tends to go in line with that. She was the one who introduced me to the 50 Shades of Grey series. I know she read some of the Sylvia Day books along with that. So yeah, so I asked her if she'd pick some for me, and she has picked 4, so that's great. I will do my usual 6 pulls from the Scrabble bag, and there's quite a few readathons going on in August, and the reason I'm saying about that is because I feel like I've took too much on recently and I've been saying yes to everything, and you can't possibly do everything at once. So I will be carrying on throughout this month with Little Dorrit by Charles Dickens. I am reading that with Kim from Expedition Through Pages and her mum and a couple of other people who are involved in that Discord group. That's a Gilmore Girls readathon where they're going through books that Rory reads throughout each episode of the Gilmore Girls. So I am only, gosh, up to chapter 10 of this book, and it's like this massive. So that's one that could take months and months for us. We're all just taking our time with it. So I will be making my way through that. I will also be continuing with Becoming by Michelle Obama, which was in my, was it my June TBR. I'm not giving myself any punishments this month because I completed all of the books apart from Becoming, and I'm partway through it. It's an 18 hours audiobook and I'm partway through that, so I will be continuing with that when I can. Then there is, sorry if I'm looking down, this is where my notes are. Then there is the Royal Readathon Sidekicks edition, which is one that I take part in every, well, I say every year, but I think they've had one already this year. So every time that comes up, I take part. This time it's Disney Sidekicks. So I'm going to do a separate TBR for that, but I will be taking part in that, and that's by Becca from Becca Fowle and her friend Liv. So I will be taking part in that. I also know that Pixarathon is going to go on in August, but as of yet there are no prompts for that yet. So I will try and low-key take part in that, and I may do a separate TBR for that if I can fulfill enough of the prompts. So there's all that going on. As well as that, I am doing buddy reads for the next few months right up till December with Jessica from Lady Lovestead Reads. And that time we've decided that because we've both missed I've missed all of the middle grade monthly books apart from Me, My Dad and the End of the Rainbow, and I think she's missed 3 or 4, so we're going to catch up on the ones she's missed because obviously I'll have missed them as well. I think there's 3 of those, and then we were buddy reading the Marissa Mayer Lunar Chronicles series, and then I had to stop because I had all that problems with my eyes, and she said she'd just wait till I was ready to read it again. So we've still got winter left to read, so we're including that in it. But for the August read, we're going to do The Witch's Boy by Kelly Barnhill. So I'm going to try and fit that into my Scrabble letters here. Alongside that is my buddy read Becca, who I've just mentioned from the Royal Readathon. I gifted her for her birthday the 2nd book in the Train to Impossible Places book series. This one's called The Great Brain Robbery, and we've decided to read it together in August. That's by P.G. Bell, but it does fit in with one of the prompts for the Royal Readathon, so I will mention that again in that TBR when I do that, but I'm going to try and fit that in with these letters as well. But I'm only picking 6 letters, so if there's a G and a W in there, I'll be well impressed. So I'll start with picking out the 6 letters. So we have U, A, No W or G yet. L, D. Do we dare put Dodger by Terry Pratchett on this TBR for the millionth time? We'll see. N and I. So I will go now and see what books I can find to fit with those letters. Right, so I am back. I have found books for each of those. So for you, I am going to go with The Unadoptables by Aisha El Rubio. This is a relatively new one that I booked. I think it had gone down to something like £2 or £2.50 on Amazon, and I had it on my wish list and I thought I'm definitely getting that. It's a middle grade and it says, oh, it's not very well. You see all the plastic at the back's all coming off. That's no good. I didn't notice that when I got it. It says, way back in the autumn of 1885, babies are discovered at the Little Tulip Orphanage in most unusual circumstances. Those babies are Lotta, Egbert, Fenner, Sem and Milu. The vile matron calls the children the Unadoptables, but this talented gang of best friends know that their individuality is what makes them so special and so determined to stay together. When a sinister gentleman tries to get them in his clutches, the children make a daring escape across the frozen canals of Amsterdam, embarking on an adventure packed with pirate ships and puppets. But is their real home and their real family already closer than they realise? So definitely going to read that one for you. Then I have gone for let me find it, another one that I've not only recently got is The Authenticity Project by Claire Pooley. It says 6 strangers with one thing in common. Their lives aren't always what they make them out to be. What would happen if they told the truth instead? Julian Jessup is tired of hiding the deep loneliness he feels, so he begins the Authenticity Project, a small green notebook containing the truth about his life. Leaving the notebook on a table in his friendly neighbourhood cafe, Julian never expects Monica, the owner, to track him down after finding it, or that she'll be inspired to write down her own story. Little do they realise that such small acts of honesty hold the power to impact all those who discover the notebook and change their lives completely. Another ensemble cast. There might be a link here because I'm pretty sure there's at least 2 others that are similar to that. So that is A. L, I am sticking with Little Dorrit. I'm going to put that on my TBR again because I'm making my way through. There's no point adding another book in here. I'm already feeling a bit overwhelmed, so let's stick with that. D, I'm going with The Dinner Guest by B.P. Walter, another one that I've recently purchased. It says 4 people walked into the dining room that night one would never leave. Matthew, the perfect husband, Titus, the perfect son, Charlie, the perfect delusion, Rachel, the perfect stranger. Charlie didn't want Rachel at the book club. Matthew wouldn't listen. Love books with book clubs involved. It says classic crime meets Donna Tartt in this nerve-shredding domestic noir thriller that weaves a sprawling web of secrets around an opulent West London world and the dinner that ends in death. So we've got a thriller in there as well. Then I am going with N. I am going for Never Unfriended by Lisa Jo Baker. This is a non-fiction book. I recently read another book by Lisa Jo Baker, and if I can remember the name of it, that would be really good. Middle, something about the middle, something about middle age, or the middle matters. She is a Christian writer. She talks about strong women. I know she's done another one entitled Surprised by Motherhood, but this is one that says, in a world where women can unfriend each other with the swipe of a finger, how do we find friendships that we can trust to last? Maybe by first becoming those kind of lasting friends ourselves. As the community manager at the website Encourage.me since 2010, Lisa Jo Baker has had the chance to engage hundreds of conversations with women about friendship. She's learned that no woman can make us quite as unsure about ourselves as another woman, and nothing can wound as deeply as unkind words from a friend. While we are all hungry for friendship, it's the fear of feeling awkward and being rejected, left out, or hurt again that often keeps us from connecting. But what if we knew we could never be unfriended? Would we risk friendship then? So intrigued. I love books about friendship, so I am excited for that one. And then the final one is The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. She came from nothing. Avery has a plan. Keep her head down, work hard for a better future. Then an eccentric billionaire dies, leaving her almost all his entire fortune, and no one, least of all Avery, knows why. They had everything. Now she must move into the mansion she's inherited. It's filled with secrets and codes, and the old man's surviving relatives, a family hell-bent on discovering why Avery got their money. Now there's only one rule: winner takes all. Soon she's caught in a deadly game that everyone in the strange family is playing, but just how far will they go to keep their fortune? I've wanted to read this for a long time. It sounds like it's got puzzles and all kinds, so I'm excited about that. So they're the 6 Scrabble books. As for the ones that my sister picked for me, the first one she picked was First to Die by James Patterson. She has read at least the first 3 of these, I think. She's thinking of rereading because she hasn't read them for a while, so I thought, well, I'll start it as well. This says First to Die is the electrifying first novel in an explosive series from mega bestseller James Patterson. The Honeymoon Murders. As the only woman homicide inspector in San Francisco, Lindsay Boxer has to be tough, but nothing has prepared her for the brutal maniac who has begun a killing spree, slaughtering newlywed couples. Lindsay is sickened by the deaths, but her determination to bring the murderers to justice is threatened by a personal tragedy. So she turns to Claire Washburn, a coroner, Cindy Thomas, a journalist, and Jill Bernhardt, an attorney, for help with both cases. So this is the Women's Murder Club, it says, is born. So I like the idea of strong women, so let's go with that one. Then she chose one that I think I know it's been on at least one TBR, because I think Steph from Steph Love picked this one for me, and it was the only one out of the 4 that she picked for me that I didn't get round to. Don't know if it's been on one other. Oh, I'm not going to take that off. It's stuck. 2 for £8. It says a damaged marriage, a toxic affair, a dark obsession. Alison has it all, a loving family and a career on the rise. She's just been given her first murder case to defend, but all is never as it seems. So I'm excited to give that one a go. That's by Harriet Tice. Like I said, it's been on a couple of TBRs. I've never got round to it, so let's go for it this time. Then she's picked one called Just My Luck by Adele Parks, which I've got on Kindle. It's one that I think my dad bought her for Christmas. She hasn't read it yet, so I would imagine we'll read this together. It's basically about a group of people, again, who always put the lottery on and they've never won, and they're always disappointed because they've only ever run a tenner. And then something goes wrong where I think one of the couples in this group lies about something, and then they end up with a ticket for 18 million, and it says the friends are determined to claim a share. So that sounds really interesting. I've recently watched on telly another one of them like syndicate type programs. This one was set at dog kennels where they'd gone to the corner shop to give the ticket in because they knew they'd won something, and he told them they'd won like £500 or something. It turned out they'd won millions, and then he went off to Monaco to spend it all, and it was I think it was Neil Morrissey in that, so this gives me that kind of vibe, so I'm excited for that. And then the final one that she picked, based on the picture on the front of the book, she said, that looks interesting, was The Deal by Elle Kennedy. Now, the Kindle book of this has got a picture of just a torso of a man with ribbed muscles. So that looks interesting. So this, when I read the back of this book, it gave me like 10 Things I Hate About You, One Tree Hill type vibes. It's basically about a guy who is the hockey team captain at his school or college, and he's not doing very well with his studies, so he decides to get a girl to tutor him, and in exchange for that she wants to kind of set up a fake dating things between themselves so that she can make another guy jealous. And that reminds me of Nathan and Haley in One Tree Hill, if you've ever seen that. So yeah, that sounded really good. Pretty sure that's self-published. When I was looking for books for the India Codes readathon, Steph said she was reading these, and she confirmed that they are self-published, so I'm going to roll it over and not read it for India Codes and use it for the Scrabble and Sister TBR. So they're my 4 books from my sister. Like I said, I will also be reading The Great Brain Robbery by P.G. Bell as a buddy read with Becca, and The Witch's Boy by Kelly Barnhill with Jessica from Lady Lovestead. So that is going to be 12 books altogether. That's not including the ones that I'm going to want to include for the Royal Readathon if not all of these fit in, and Pixarathon if I can get them to fit. But like I said, I'll probably do separate TBRs. I might do a joint video where I do the Royal Readathon, Sidekicks Edition and Pixarathon together. Hopefully you'll see some of these again because I can manage to fit them in, because I'm feeling so overwhelmed at the minute. And I do it to myself because I've planned everything in. Like you've probably seen my video where I planned out the rest of the year. But then other readathons are coming on board and I'm going, yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I can do that. I've already signed up to be a team captain of another readathon today, but I couldn't. You'll find out what it is soon, but I couldn't pass that up. So yeah, there's a couple of things that I've had in the back burner with different people, and I think I'm going to have to really hone in what I'm going to do. Some of them are going to have to probably roll over till next year now because I am feeling very overwhelmed. I am not at the minute getting a chance to mood read because I've got arcs that I'm trying to finish, books that I need to review for stuff. So at the minute I'm trying to take part in India Codes in July, which is when this is being filmed. But I'm feeling like I'm trying to fit books in that I have to read rather than I want to, which is why when I got my Scrabble letters this time, I have gone through my shelves and picked out specifically ones that I'm excited about and then gone, do they fit the letters? And they have. I've managed to find plenty there that I'm excited about. So, excuse me. Oh, there's these, and then maybe one, two, maybe 3 or 4 that I haven't. How many did I say I was reading? 10, 11, 12, 3, 6, 7, 8 copies from the library or Kindle books. So there you go. I'm excited for this month, and I will speak to you soon, probably with my Pixarathon and Royal Readathon Sidekicks Edition. Also going on at the end of the July, beginning of August is Olympicsathon. But I'm going to have to see which of these books fit in and try and see if any of the India Codes ones fit in, because that's another one that I want to support, because you know I support Charlotte and her channel, but it's another one that I've squashed in and I'm like so yeah, I did it to myself. I need to calm down. If you see me signing up to something else, ask me if I can fit it in. Okay, if you've read any of these, let me know. If you are taking part in the Royal Readathon Sidekicks Edition or with Pixarathon, let me know, and I will speak soon. Bye.